After a good night's sleep, we hit the road for Carson City. Here, I met up with Kristen Brown. Kristen is an architectural historian with the Nevada State Historical Preservation Office. We met up for a hike. Kristen took me to a spot that's a local favorite, and I can understand why.
I gotta start with the most important question first. Who's this?
This is Tyler, my best buddy.
You guys hike a lot?
We hike all the time here.
So tell me about this spot. This is just, I mean, gorgeous.
This is so nice. This is the Kings Canyon Waterfall. It's right on the edge of Carson City, so it's very accessible, and it's always several degrees cooler here in the summertime.
And I mean, you could just stay up here for hours. You could have lunch. What a great spot.
You could. It's a great spot.
Why? I know why I do, but why do you love history so much?
I just love how it's a tangible link to our past, and it's something that we can really experience when we're in a historic building or at a historic location. It comes to life.
And there is a very specific highway nearby here, yeah?
Yeah. So this waterfall is located at the bottom of what we call Kings Canyon Road. And the road has a very long history in the area. Kings Canyon Road was first started in 1852 by some early Carson City settlers who identified it as a possible route up and over the mountains to get from here to California. So in the 1850s, this road was primarily used as an immigrant road for migration. But then in 1859, all of a sudden, gold and silver were discovered in the Comstock Lode by Virginia City. There was a huge mining boom that happened at that time. So this road in the 1860s and 1870s became extremely important for transporting materials, supplies, and people for the mining activity. They had stagecoaches that brought people in. They had wagon trains that brought freight in. And then there was kind of a third phase of this road's history, and that was kind of an early form of automobile tourism. In the early 1900s, more people were getting into automobiles, and we had this new leisure time, pastime activity, which was a road trip. Much like we would do today, you wanted to take a road trip to a scenic location and you needed a road, a good quality road to be able to drive on. The Lincoln Highway was really our country's first intercontinental automobile route. And in 1913, this road, Kings Canyon Road near here, was formally designated as a segment of the Lincoln Highway.
You tell a great story. I mean, you should do this for a living.
Oh my gosh.
We continued on our hike, and Kristen wanted to show me the original Lincoln Highway and point out more details about the road, specifically the rock retaining walls.
Building a road like this, or even just making improvements or doing road maintenance, was all really expensive. And in order to afford doing that kind of thing, companies were formed to help finance it. So they would pay to finance the maintenance and improvement of the road. They would charge tolls to partly pay themselves back, but also to turn a profit. So they were a for-profit company usually.
How much were they charging?
So the years that this happened, so the prices will be in perspective of the time period, right? So the heyday of the toll period was about 1863 to 1875. So at that time, if you were a person on horseback, you paid 50 cents to use this road. If you had a buggy with one horse, it was $1. And if you had a wagon with two animals pulling it, it was $2.
That is unbelievable. When was this?
It started in 1863 when the county commissioners first set those rates when one of the franchises was here setting up the toll. And so in 1863 that was implemented, those prices were implemented. And then, like I say, it fell out of use by around 1875, and it wasn't really used a lot in that fashion anymore.
Now, obviously, we're a stone's throw away from Highway 50. You can hear it, you can see it, but you talk about stones. Tell me about these.
Yes. So this is one of the retaining walls that we talked about that is historic, part of the early iteration of this road. And as you can see, it was really built to hold this hillside back, prevent the road from eroding down or slipping down this hill. And these stones would have all been sourced locally, rocks found in the area, and they were dry laid without mortar. So they were just carefully fitted together and let gravity do the trick.
That must have been backbreaking.
Yes, I can't even imagine how hard this work was.
Hard-working guys and people, hard-working people. And I'm sure it was dusty and crowded, and you can hear it all happening. I mean, when you stand up here, you can just feel the history, can't you?
Yeah, it would have been a racket indeed. There would have been people and mules and horses all over the place, I bet.
You know, if somebody hasn't taken the time to learn or spend the day, been lucky enough to spend the day with you, they'll see this and go, that's a little of nothing. It's a whole bunch of something that we're standing on.
It is. It's a great historic resource. It's a fun recreation opportunity. It's a story, and it's just beautiful.
It is beautiful. You know what? You really get me fired up about Nevada and history, just spending the time with you. So I want to thank you both for taking your day and spending it and educating me. I really do appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for inviting me.
I'll never look at this the same.
Thank you.
Let's go.